My name is Teddy Jacobson of Actions by T. I am a pistol smith in Sugar Land, Texas. I am a trigger specialist and work on over 100 different models of handgun actions. The opinions I give on this tape are my own. I will give you the pros and cons of different parts and accessories. I will point out the good qualities of a product that will improve your handgun. I have no agenda or ulterior motive except honesty and integrity. You are welcome to call me or contact me through my website. Everything I tell you, I believe is true. My discussion here in no way has any reflection on the place you buy your products. In other words, it doesn't matter to me one bit whether you buy it from a mail order place, or you buy it from your local gun shop, or you buy it from a wholesaler. That's irrelevant. I'm here to discuss the product itself. I'm going to show you a lot of different items, and I'm going to go through everything in complete detail. You see I have a sign here. It says titanium equals money. Everybody is putting out titanium parts. My eyeglasses, titanium frames. Titanium is not as strong as steel. Nobody tells you what percentage of titanium is in the part. I'm going to go through different pages, and as I do, we will discuss them. I've got a listing of all kinds of parts, plus parts on the table here. But first, we'll look at this. We'll take one at a time. These are mainspring housings for the 1911. If you're going to build or make, or you want to improve a street gun, you want to make sure that the checkering is 30 lines per inch, because 20 lines per inch, if it's sharp checkering, will ruin your clothing. And so there are so many different brands. The thing that's important on these mainspring housings is how many, the checkering as far as whether it's 20 lines per inch or 30, also the quality of the material it's made, and also you got to decide what's best for you, an arched mainspring housing or a straight mainspring housing. A good mainspring housing can cost you $50. If you get too sharp at checkering, it'll be tough on your hands, and so you'll be looking for trouble. I generally buy either Brown, sometimes I buy Wilson, and sometimes I buy Smith & Alexander. I have a rule of thumb that I'll talk to you for a minute about. A lot of these parts that are for sale are Kmart quality. I don't consider most Wilson parts very good quality. He does have some good parts that I do buy, like his barrel link. This is a good strong barrel link that Wilson makes. But as a general rule, I'm a little leery of some of his parts, and I'll explain why. McCormick does not make good parts. At least these are my opinions now. Remember, everything I'm telling you I believe to be true, but it is absolutely my opinion. I don't buy McCormick parts because I don't think much of them. When you buy a thumb safety in a blue package like this from Bill Wilson, he buys from subcontractors. If I buy a thumb safety from Bill Wilson, and I buy it this week, it might be made by company A. And if I buy an identical product next week, it might be made by company B. And the tolerances and or the dimensions may be a little different. And I can't live with that. And so we'll take each step at a time. There are other manufacturers that I'll talk about. I have nothing personal against any of these people. I'm talking strictly about a quality product. We'll put up another sheet and we'll go from here. This here shows you Colt 380 parts. This sear, I've had a gun come in my shop with a sear like this, and I found it to be extremely poor. I'd rather have the original Colt 380 Mustang sear. I don't like this sear. This Scott & McDougall government guide rod is a good guide rod. It's very good. This is their Scott & McDougall Mustang guide rod. It's very good. I do not like Scott & McDougall's aluminum trigger, because if you look at the Mustang, which I've got one right here to show you, the original trigger is nylon. There's nothing wrong with self-lubricating nylon. Nothing at all. I see no reason to change this trigger. Makes no sense to me. But as I show you, this has a Scott & McDougall guide rod, which I do like. I think it's a good step upward. We'll continue. Novak makes sights for all the guns, and they look nice, but they're relatively soft. You got to be careful. If you bang them, they will dent. I've never used this 380 Novak sight, so I know very little about this particular sight. This is cylinder and slide, makes an extended thumb safety. It looks like this. I find it to be a piece of junk. I have nothing against cylinder and slide. It's just the personal part we're talking about. I don't think much of this. Now this is for a 380, but this is a 9mm. I'm not familiar with this exact 380, but the 9mm cylinder and slide has caused me nothing but misery. This particular one I've never installed. Volquartsen makes a pretty good trigger for the Ruger Mark II. Some of my customers like these installed. I find that most Volquartsen products are pretty good. Clark trigger. Here's a Clark trigger installed. I have no problem with the Clark trigger in the Ruger Mark II. The finish is not very good on them, but I always clean them up, or if it's a blue trigger, I rebake them. I bake them with a moly finish. This is a new trigger by Marvell, and it's more of a target trigger, and I've asked a number of my customers if they would like one installed, and I haven't had too many takers on this. This again is a Volquartsen hammer for the Mark II, the Ruger Mark II, and I've never installed one of these. But Volquartsen, as a general rule, I've seen some good products. This is in regard to a Sig Sauer pistol, and this is a titanium, the magic word, firing pin. There's no reason whatsoever to buy a titanium firing pin. It makes no sense to me. It will not hold up as good as steel. This makes absolutely no sense to me at all. This is a Scott & McDougall SIG aftermarket trigger. I've tried these. I did not like them. This is a TJ's SIG custom trigger. It's a piece of junk. Nothing personal. It's my opinion. There's too much play. The dimensions are wrong.